Welcome back. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez leading dozens of House Democrats in a call for a complete immigration overhaul.
The group citing a racial reckoning and looking to prevent the targeting of gang members for deportation. Joining us to discuss, Fox Nation host Tomi Lahren. Tomi, here's a quote from this letter. Quote, "We are in a moment of racial reckoning in this country, with communities across the country calling for an end to mass incarceration and racist policing. It is time to end the carceral approach to immigration, which relies on these same flawed systems." Look, Tomi, we can use all the woke words we want in the world. How is this anything other than providing sanctuary to known gang members?
This is the Californication of America. This is what happens in California on a daily basis. I've spent a lot of time talking to not only Border Patrol but ICE agents, that I've gone on ride-alongs with ICE agents in California, and I can tell you this is nationalizing that failed process on a national level, and that's what they're seeking to do. It's already incredibly difficult to get criminal aliens out of this country in states and cities that have sanctuary policies, and this is just seeking to expand that. But furthermore, I think the American people really need to understand what's going on here. You know, first they told us that they don't want open borders. Now we're seeing open borders. Then they told us that their priority for deportation, which they already halted, was to get criminals out of this country. And now you've got AOC and the Democratic radicals saying, no, we don't even want to get criminal aliens out of this country because that is somehow racist. To which I would remind AOC and her Democratic colleagues that are a part of this, that criminal activity, gang activity, that is not a race, that is an activity. And these people have no right to be in our country. They have already come to our country illegally. They don't respect the rule of law in our country, and they have broken laws in our country. They don't deserve to be here. Furthermore, these are the kind of people that recommit crimes in the very immigrant communities in which they live. This is endangering Americans. This is endangering legal immigrants. This is even endangering other illegal immigrants living in the United States. So what we need to know and understand here is that this used to be far left radical thinking, but AOC and her squad members and the 34 other Democrats that have signed onto this, they have the ear and the attention and the control of this administration, and it needs to stop. Midterms in this country are going to be crucial, and I hope the American people understand that.
Okay, two things, Tomi. First of all, I like your outfit. Todd did not get the memo to wear the same thing.
I didn't.
Second of all, let's talk about Texas here for a second, because Texas reported 0 deaths from COVID-19 on Sunday. This is 2 months after lifting the mask mandate. What do you say to that? What does that tell you?
Well, you know, that was dubbed Neanderthal thinking. So if that is Neanderthal thinking, then I hope that the rest of the states in this country certainly adopt that Neanderthal thinking very soon. Listen, the science is clear. You can't have people living indoors, masked and restricted forever. We've done it for over a year and a half. It's over. COVID fear-mongering is over. Find a new cause, Democrats. It's time to understand that we need to have trust and faith in the American people and also in these state leaders to make the best decisions for their state. And it turns out that those states that choose freedom over restriction and mandate and infringement, those are the states that are doing best, not only in the pandemic, but economically. So if you are in a state or a city and your leaders don't believe in that so-called Neanderthal thinking of freedom, it's time to recall them. It's time to unseat them. It's time to get louder, because it's time to go back to the old normal.
But, Tomi, in the 45 seconds we have remaining, even despite all of the evidence that is presented, still so many blue state governors, I'm just looking across the river in New Jersey, haven't said, you know, it's time to lift the mask mandate. We still need more information. I mean, what more information do you need?
Well, listen, once tyrants get control, it is incredibly difficult for them to relinquish that control, and they're going to keep it for as long as they possibly can. So until citizens are willing to stand up, to rise up like those in California have and recalling their governor, it's going to continue. They're not going to just willingly give up their control. And these mask mandates and other restrictions and infringements, those are control that these Democrats certainly love. And it's time, though, to make them understand that if they do continue those, they will be unseated. They will be ousted from office, and the American people are going to stand up and take their freedoms back. We've done this for over a year and a half. We've been lied to for a year and a half, and it's enough of this. Let's get back to old normal and live our lives as free Americans ought to do.
All right, Tomi Lahren, thank you for joining us. And don't miss No Interruption with Tomi Lahren, only on Fox Nation. Tomi, good to see you. Have a good day.